If you think male dogs are more loyal than females, this video might just change your mind. Because there are things that only female dogs do, and the way they do them might give you goosebumps, or even bring tears to your eyes. They're not just pets. They're guardians, soulmates, silent companions who watch over you and love you, unconditionally. And if you've ever raised a female dog, this video might help you realize you may have never truly understood your four-legged friend. Today, we're going to explore 9 surprising things that female dogs do with their owners, things male dogs almost never do. And trust me, number 6 on this list will truly shock you. Not just because it's strange, but because it's touching in a way you wouldn't believe. Before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you won't miss heartwarming stories like this. Let's begin. There are dogs that are more than just pets. They are protectors, companions, silent friends who quietly guard your sleep. Not because they were trained to, not because they were told to. They just know that when something doesn't feel right, their instinct is to place themselves between you and danger, without hesitation. I witnessed this one late night when the alarm suddenly blared. Before I could even get up, she was already standing between me and the door. No barking, no panic, just standing there, ears perked, eyes fixed on the dark hallway. Ready. And that same dog, on days when I returned home quietly, face clouded with fatigue. She didn't need to ask why. She'd just come over, gently touch her cold nose to my knee, then lie down beside me. Not a word. No grand gestures. Just simply being there, with me. You might think all dogs are like that, but then you realize there's a very different bond, often found only in female dogs. They don't love the whole world in the same way. They choose one person, and once they've chosen, their loyalty is nearly absolute. I never taught her that. But every morning, she'd wait outside the bathroom door. When I sat down to work, she'd lie at my feet. On days I had headaches, she'd sit beside me, silently, for hours. No need to be called, no need for thanks. She just needed me. That bond isn't loud, not binding, but it's there, like air. And sometimes I wonder, perhaps she understands me, even more than my own family. Have you ever seen a dog play with children and seem to adjust its energy? Gentle, patient. The child might pull its tail, hug its neck, even step on its paw. It remains silent, unreactive, as if it knows. This is a being that needs protection. That's when I realized female dogs carry something special, the maternal instinct, not just for their own offspring, but for any small creature in need of care. I once heard a story about a stray dog in South America. It raised an abandoned litter of kittens, groomed them, brought them food, stayed by their side as if they were her own. Not the same species, not the same bloodline, just a heart big enough to love those more fragile than herself. I never thought I'd witness something similar, until Bella started acting strangely. She carried a stuffed animal to her bed. At first, I thought she was playing. But then she began licking its belly, lying next to it constantly, growling softly if anyone approached. She barely ate, didn't run around as usual, just quietly lay beside that fake child all day. I took her to the vet, and was stunned by the diagnosis. She was experiencing a false pregnancy. No puppies. But her body and instincts made her believe otherwise, and her heart didn't care what's real, what's not. She just knew to love, to care, to protect, like a true mother. At that moment, I looked at her, and no longer saw a dog. I saw a soul, a being capable of unconditional love, even if the object of that affection was just an old toy. Since then, I began observing her every behavior more closely. Things I once thought were habits, now suddenly full of meaning. I noticed she always had her own corner, a worn blanket, a few toys. Whenever I inadvertently moved something, the next day she'd meticulously bring each item back to its original spot, as if quietly rebuilding her little nest. And indeed, female dogs have a nesting instinct. That space isn't just for sleeping. It's an emotional territory, a place where they feel in control, at peace, a place safe enough to love something or someone. That sensitivity also makes them more susceptible to noise. Like the time the neighbors were drilling, the prolonged noise made Bella curl up, hide under the table, and not come out until everything quieted down. Not weakness, it's vigilance, always listening, always watching. And when they love, they don't show it loudly. No jumping around, no loud barking. They just gently rest their head on your shoulder, lightly lick your hand, or simply sit beside you, not leaving. Someone once asked me, "Why does your dog play less, seem less expressive?" I just smiled. She doesn't need to draw attention. She loves in her own way, silently, deeply. And perhaps what I'm most grateful for is the stability she brings. Bella grew up fast, but without rebellion, didn't destroy things, didn't run away like the male dogs I had before. She matured, steady, and notably, she lived a very long life. People say female dogs live longer. I believe that, not just because of statistics, but because I clearly see. Dogs like Bella live long not because they're healthier, but because they live with a purpose. And that purpose is you. After each heat cycle, she'd bring back a toy, sometimes a teddy bear, sometimes just an old slipper. And her eyes, serious, silent, full of responsibility. She wasn't playing anymore. She was mothering. Even though she'd never had real puppies, within her always burned a flame of love and protective instinct. Smoldering, resilient, enduring, even when the object of her affection was just a piece of cloth. If you've ever lived long enough with a female dog, you'll understand. They're not just pets. They're beings living by heart. A heart that knows how to listen, to love, to sacrifice, without ever demanding reciprocation. Have you ever felt that? Have you ever looked at your dog and realized behind those eyes is a soul that has loved you with all its silence? I made this video not to compare or differentiate. I made it because I believe the smallest things, if noticed, can touch the deepest parts of the human heart. And perhaps, after today, you will go home, look at your dog differently, more gently, more understanding, and more grateful. If you've watched this far, I believe you're not just a dog lover. You are someone who cherishes true connections. Please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss stories like this. And if you have a special memory with your dog, please share it in the comments. I read them all. Thank you for listening. We'll meet again very soon.